whenever you're ready, right? We're just
Yeah, sure. We'll start whenever. Oh, we're starting. The little countdown happened. Well, welcome back
hey.
to our psychology episode.
Why are you saying it like that?
I don't know.
Oh,
Because I
okay.
just felt like
It's
being weird with it.
it may we're weird in a good way. In a
Or
it
we're
makes
just
me
weird.
think of God, I am. I'm actually what I am is tired, but we're gonna make it. We're gonna get
Right.
through this. What I think of when I think of psychology and peanut butter is Lucy from Peanuts. The doctor is in.
Oh, the doctor
Like
is
the
in
song.
and
It's like,
peanut butter. I see where your brain went with that. I appreciate
Yeah.
that path. So yeah, we're going to talk about the psychology, which is how we would all sound because we're all too
Oh,
old.
we're too old.
I know, we're the adults. The
I
psychology behind marketing, like why we believe the things we believe and do the things we do and respond to what we respond to. Like why do some things work and some things fall flat? It's the great question
and you
of the
think
universe.
that nobody knows, but actually you might be able to figure it out.
People get paid good money to study this.
Yeah.
It's funny because when at the larger agencies that I was at, when we had the planning department, of course, who's like getting inside the mind of the consumer, a lot of those people were psych majors in college.
Jessica was a psych major.
Oh, that makes sense. And there were some that were like a therapist or a sociologist, and they were doing some of that study, and then they got into advertising because they just wanted to do something different.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you don't have to have a marketing degree to be in advertising. Some of us do, some of us don't. So yeah.
We're having a peanut butter cup.
We are. This cocktail sounded a little bit sketch when I first heard about it. But as I peeked at the recipe in the notes, I have decided that I would like to go buy all the ingredients and make this, since we only have one of the ingredients in-house. And I actually don't know where that bottle is because we never use chocolate liqueur. I know we've got a bottle of Godiva and a bottle of Godiva white chocolate, both. We probably have dark milk and white. We probably have all three.
That's not
because I
super
think we
surprising
bought
to
them
me.
during the pandemic.
This recipe is an original from liqueur.com, which combines chocolate vodka, peanut flavored rum, chocolate liqueur, and cream.
So liquor.com just made this up? Like a la BuzzFeed making
is
things up?
dessert in a glass. Yes, but I don't think you have to read a listicle before you get this recipe.
I hope not. I don't want to read somebody's entire life or like the 400 things that you're not going to find in this recipe before. Just cut to the recipe. Jump to recipe print. That's all I want to do.
Yeah, yep. So this is 1.5 ounces of chocolate vodka, 1 ounce of Castries crème peanut rum, 3/4 ounce chocolate liqueur, and 1/2 ounce of heavy cream. You can garnish with peanut butter cup and chocolate syrup. You drizzle your chocolate syrup along the inside of a chilled cocktail glass. I'm guessing like a coupe glass. Is that what?
Cooper
feels
martini. It's
Oh, yeah, a
probably
little martini.
designed to be a martini.
That makes sense. I don't like martini glasses. They make me nervous. They're very
Coupe glasses
tippy.
are easier. They're a little
Yeah.
bit more forgiving, but you've got to get the big coupe glasses like we have.
Yes.
None of these little tiny ones.
You add your chocolate vodka, creme, peanut rum, chocolate liqueur, and cream to a shaker filled with ice, and shake vigorously until well chilled, and probably until you get a little body out of that cream, right? Kind of whipping the cream a bit. Strain into your prepared cocktail glass and garnish with a peanut butter cup. Extra bonus points if you have a little cocktail spear, so you can just like dunk your little peanut butter cup in. Like, don't just toss the cup in the glass, because it'll
also
to the bottom.
And I don't know what the show art looks like for this, or if it's even created yet. It might not be created. Who knows? Well, it's created by the time you hear this, of course. But
I don't
right
know.
now,
We don't know anything. We just
Zach
work
says
here.
it is actually. So hopefully it has the garnish with the spear, because the other thing the spear will do is if you put the peanut butter cup all the way toward the top end of that, the point will go down and it'll keep it from sinking all the way into the bottom. So you see it as a garnish instead of like, I don't know if a peanut butter cup would float in all of this or if it would just sink to the bottom.
Too dense.
And honestly, use a big peanut butter cup. None of these minis, like,
No.
Just
Or
use
you could
the
do
standard size Reese's.
like a 3 dots and a dash and do like a skewer of the mini ones. So you could like olives. or
You could
like
do that.
cocktail cherries.
Dip,
Yeah.
eat, dip, eat. Dip,
Yeah.
eat.
Yeah.
That'd be
And if
fair.
you're me, or my child, you just want the garnish. We don't give our child cocktails, but we do give her cocktail cherries, just as a disclaimer.
Yeah. Fair. I mean, cocktail cherries are just cherries until they're like soaked in booze. They're really good cherries though, and kind of
They
boozy,
are.
expensive cherries.
Not if you do the Trader Joe's ones. We don't
I
give her the
know.
Luxardo cherries. We give her the Trader Joe's ones.
I know.
She's like, could I have
really
a
good.
cherry? Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They're not
really
the
good.
same though.
No, but they're a very good substitute, and for the price, really
Yes.
So a couple notes on this. Chocolate vodka is different than like Godiva chocolate liqueur. The chocolate liqueur they're talking about is like, it'll say chocolate liqueur, like Godiva chocolate liqueur is the most famous.
I think I've told this story before, but one time Tyrell and I went to a cocktail tasting or like a cocktail competition, but it was like amateur bartenders. And this poor human man child didn't know that it was called Godiva. And so he's like, I'm going to use this Godiva chocolate liquor.
Go Diva. Go Diva.
And
It's your birthday.
Tyrell and I just looked at each other like, this is not going to taste good. And then it didn't. He was trying his hardest.
When your worst expectations come to life.
Yeah.
So those are different. That's why they are different. So the chocolate vodka is going to be, generally it's clear. It looks like vodka and it's just got a chocolate flavor. The chocolate liqueur is going to be the color of the chocolate.
like-
Dark,
yes.
milk, light, white. This one, you could use a milk chocolate or a dark chocolate. It doesn't really say. I would probably use milk chocolate if you're going to be true to the peanut butter cup, because that's what they generally are. But you can get dark chocolate peanut butter cups too. And then we did look up the Castries creme peanut rum. The bottle is beautiful. It's a little pricey. So if you can
It's
find,
a very cute little bottle.
there are clear peanut rums, but that's not what this is. This is a cream and peanut rum. So it's, you'd have to find that, make sure that creme is on there. I do kind of want to buy one, even though it's ridiculously expensive. Just because
We have a different definition of
cute.
ridiculously expensive liquor. When you were like,
Wow.
oh, this is pricey. And I was like, I don't know, like $75? Like, what do you think? And then you're like, no, it's $150. And I was like, that's not bad, because my husband's like alcohol habit has ruined me.
Well, and if you're going to like a craft limited bottle bourbon or something,
Right.
you can get into the hundreds of dollars or even up into the thousands
Very quickly.
pretty quick.
He had ordered like a specialty bottle of rum. Not rum, is whiskey. And I was like, let me try that. And so I did a shot of it and I was like, whoa. I was like, I didn't like that. And he goes, well, to be fair, the only whiskey you've ever liked was like $600 a bottle. And I was like, that's true. So carry on.
We did a whiskey tasting for Brian's birthday one year when we were in San Diego, and our neighbor lady across the street, who's retired in her 70s at the time, came over. Her husband loves bourbon and whiskey, and she just really never got into it. And so he did little tiny, like 1 ounce pours of like 4 different ones for her. And she found one. She's like, oh, that's nice. I really like that one. And he's like, that one's $500 a bottle. She's like, of course.
Maybe it was the same one.
It could have been. It's possible. You and
Me and
April
your
from San
former neighbor who was 70-year-old.
I miss those folks.
I bet you
she
do.
learned
They
to
sound
swim.
great.
So there was her parents' house that they inherited, and she learned to swim in our pool there because the old lady across the street, or the lady across the street at that time, I guess, let the kids in the neighborhood swim in her pool, and that's where she was taught swimming lessons.
Oh, I thought you meant that she learned how to swim.
Oh,
in the
no.
70s,
When
and
she
I
was a
like,
kid.
That's so sweet.
No, when she was a
I mean,
kid.
it's still cute, but
she did then teach her grandkids how to swim at our pool. She would
That's so
swim with them.
sweet.
It was very sweet. I know, I'm so sweet. So I think this one sounds like it sounds
I
like
could do
danger.
one of these. Yeah, I could do one of these, and then I think my teeth would feel sad. Like this, like after dinner, followed by like a nice decaf cup of coffee.
Yep.
I think
That's how I do the twin Bing martini at the Warrior. I
love
some people
Sioux City.
hate that.
Twin Bings are trash.
I love.
They're
twin
not
Bings.
good.
I absolutely love twin Bings. They're super artificial, but they're so good. But like one of
even
those,
if they weren't fluorescent pink, they wouldn't. They don't taste good.
I feel like they do taste good, but I like
know.
the artificial cherry.
I'm so happy for you.
I know. Let me finish my story.
I know.
It's my tangent.
I
Keep
can't.
interjecting in my tangent. But anyway,
That's what I'm here for.
I was going to support you and say, yes, like that. I can have one of those like after dinner, like as a dessert. And then I do want like a decaf espresso or something just to clear all that sugar out of my mouth and brain.
May I tell you that when we went to Wisconsin it's probably been like 2 months ago now, we stopped at this like tea store and they have an herbal chai. So it's like decaf chai and you can also use it as mulling spices.
Oh, yeah.
And it is the perfect, like, making a chai latte with this before bed, like oat milk or cream and this chai and a little bit of honey. And it is the most soothing, lovely night drink. It was
I feel
so
like
good.
boozy chai latte needs to be a drink at some point.
Ooh.
That sounds so good. All right, so we'll put a pin in that because we're
Take it down, Zach.
pretty much at time for the intro. So Zach will he'll
wrapping it up. Yeah,
he'll music us out, and we'll be back after the break with psychology, marketing psychology.
Shall we get in to the core psychological principles?
Yeah, I feel like this is way more cerebral than we've been, like, I don't know, ever.
Let's see if we can handle it, or if we just
devolve into an episode full of tangents and nothing else. So little known fact, producer Zach wanted to be a psychology major in college, but he didn't. He ended up doing marketing instead.
took a psychology course. I got a C, and I said, no, thank you.
I got a B in
wanted
mine.
to.
My thing with psychology is like, because we went to the same school, and
All three of us
did. Yeah, not a huge school. But my psychology class was one of the auditorium classes in the science building, the old science building.
Yeah.
It was like 120 people, and I just don't learn in that environment. I learn in a room full of 12 to 20 people. Like,
Yeah.
And it was just lecture. Don't talk at me. Like, let's discuss. I loved the professor.
Do you remember who your professor was?
Yeah, John Pinto.
Okay. Oh, he was still there when I was there.
And I loved him. He was great, and I did learn quite a bit. It was just a hard learning environment for the way I learned. Beard, dark hair. Well, he might have had gray hair by then. I don't know.
Jack. I
Jack
can't remember
who?
what his first name. I had Jack, but I can't remember his last name. He was sick a lot. I think he retired or died shortly after.
Oh, jeez. Well, welcome to the morbidity of teaching psychology. Okay. So
should we define some things?
Yeah. So these are principles that apply to psychology, these are psychological principles that apply to marketing as well.
There you go. So first one, reciprocity. And
is it I scratch your back, you scratch my back?
Yeah, exactly. Providing value up front to motivate customers or prospects to give you something in return. This is like classic form fill, right? Or
yep. What am I going to get if I give you my
offer.
information?
Yeah.
And the way this shows up for us in questions to clients is, if you're the person you're asking to fill out this form, is the thing you're giving them valuable enough for the information you're gathering? And like phone numbers where it always becomes difficult, because email, I'll give you my email. I can opt out. I can also give you a Gmail account that I created yesterday and delete. I'm not worried about that. But if it's valuable, like I'll do that for almost anything. Phone number, I need money for a phone number. That's where I am.
Really?
And not like 15% off. There was a thing.
I get it. I was like, what?
No, to give a phone number to somebody, like I need to have some sort of monetary value.
I definitely thought you meant that you were expecting people to pay you for your phone number, because I'm so tired. I was like, how does that work? You could have my phone number for $5.
I mean, I don't know if anybody's ever tried that. Like, put your phone number here. We'll send you an Amazon gift card for $5. Like, but there was a 10% off thing that I had at a restaurant we ate at the other night. And it was in their app. And like, I ordered on their app and then went and picked it up, because by the time I get there, it's ready. It was very easy. But it was only 10%. And I was like, I'm not giving you my phone number, because they wanted to do text offers, right? And I'm like, I already get in-app offers. I'm fine with that.
Yep.
but not worth 10% to give you my phone number. I need 15 to 20. I need 20 really.
I don't mind a text because that's so easy to just opt out of now. Like stop to opt out. I don't mind a
True.
text. Yeah.
True.
So I will absolutely take the 15% for my phone number and then immediately opt out.
Yep. So reciprocity, what do I get if I give you my information, Mr. Marketer?
The next one, though, is really interesting because sometimes I won't opt out of the text messages, hoping that I will get another coupon.
Oh, FOMO, scarcity.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Yep.
So fear of missing out. And this, she's got it. I want to know everything. I want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. Information, experiences, all of it.
Yep. What's it called? Phobia, fear of being included.
Is that real? Is that a real thing?
Yeah, it's an introvert thing. Where there's like someone's going to do something and you know you're going to be expected to go, but you absolutely don't want to.
Oh.
And you're really afraid they're going to ask you.
Being a bridesmaid. Got it.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, that's probably one. The scarcity principle also comes up with limited number, right? So a lot of retail places now are putting up like only 5 left, only 1 left. Airlines do this, hotels do this, only 2 rooms left at this price, which may or may not be true, but we move faster when something is scarce.
Yep.
It's just true. And something that's also, I think yours is the experience is going to be scarce. Only so many people will experience this. I want to be one of those people. Politics do this. Donate $25 to be one of 100 people to receive a voice message from candidate A or a phone call. Yep. 100%.
Yeah.
These are fun. This is more fun than I thought. It's less cerebral and more fun.
The counter to this. Hi, Misa girl. Hi, puppy. We got a baby puppy on camp. Hi, puppy. She can't hear us. The joy of missing out is something that I have tried to lean into in my advanced age. That I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Yep, 100%.
You gotta beat my pajamas.
There were a couple things like that happened recently that I was like, if I was younger, I would probably go do it. But now I'm happy for the people who do, but I'm also very happy for me to not and just stay here and watch my show.
And I feel like FOMO and social proof really go hand in hand, right? So
of course.
Social proof is the use of evidence that other people have found value, excitement, joy in a product or service experience that builds trust or credibility. And so when you talk about politics, it's yard signs, right? So like the social proof of, oh, my neighbor is voting for, my neighbor is supporting.
Yep.
So that means it's okay if I do it. And so it's like, the old saying that yard signs don't vote, but they might encourage somebody else to.
Yeah. And they also, I think it's the same way. Like, I mean, you look at like pride flags, Canada Day flags, like things that people put out. You just feel better knowing that somebody else has that out there. And you also then feel something about the person that put it up, which is what social proof is, right?
Yeah.
I feel good about you as a human because I saw your pride flag, or I feel, like you might be a little bit more interesting because we had a neighbor who was Canadian who always put up their Canada Day flag.
That's cute.
They had an American flag out every day except Canada Day. They put up the Canada flag. And she happened to be our dentist in Denver. And it was like,
sorry,
good try. Not quite there. But it was really good to like then talk to her about like, hey, let's talk about this and what's going on with it. So we feel validated by other people with social proof.
Yeah, I think the other thing, social proof and like parasocial relationships online with influencers especially, or people that you get information from, where you think you know them and you think you know that they're like, you trust their opinion because you think you know them. And then how does that like dovetail into clicking on an affiliate link?
Yep. Yeah,
So
it's funny
yeah.
because I had the shirt I had on yesterday has an Adidas logo on the side, and
Mm-hmm.
our logo. I had our logo embroidered on it because I like our logo stuff. I know not everybody
It's
does
cute.
like wearing brand logos, but the Adidas logo, Nike logo, there's a bunch of them outside of sports are all also a piece of social proof, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
who you wear and what you wear says something about you.
There's
Um,
a little bit of like tribalism in there as
mhm.
well, that like
Yep.
I belong to the in group.
Yep.
It's very, yeah, yeah.
Same reason that red carpets are who are you wearing? It's
Mm-hmm.
because those brands that are outfitting those folks, I mean, and sometimes it's like a one off dress from some random person, but a lot of the men lately, like I love the ones who are like, oh, like this is it's a black suit from Nordstrom. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, God bless you. Cause now,
Mm-hmm.
like also social proof though, like I feel like I'm
Oh,
elevated because I just have a basic black suit from Nordstrom as well. So
yeah,
we're
yeah.
good. But yeah,
Celebrities, they're just like us.
they are. Um, they put on their pants one leg at a time with three people helping them do it.
Correct.
But yeah,
Yes.
so I think testimonials are a good example of this.
Yeah.
It feels better for us to do something if we see other people doing it also. So all those things kind of wrap
Yeah.
into your social proof.
I will
Um,
read reviews before I will read like full product descriptions too.
mhm.
Like I know my experience always goes to like retail clothing because that's the primarily what I do
Yep.
online. But it's like, you know, like seeing the picture of something that I think I might like, and I maybe read like the first couple lines, but then I immediately am going to like reviews. Can I find, and I love it when reviews will let you sort by like body type or similar like size ordered, that sort of thing. So it's like, okay, can I find somebody who's like me, social proof, that will validate that this product is good, that I will like it, that it will fit me the way that I expect it to. Like all of those little like granular kind of things
Mhm.
seem really unnecessary, but
But they
if
also
I
work
can find
in
it, yeah,
they
yeah.
work in the reverse too. So I was looking at some things the other day, and it's like model is because they do this on sites a lot. Model is
Hmm.
6'2", 180 pounds, 31-inch waist, and I'm just like,
Cannot
I
relate.
cannot relate right now at all. When I was 20 years ago, could I relate? Maybe I've never been 6'2". Um, but I mean, I'm also not super short. I'm kind of average, I think.
You're above average in our hearts, though.
But it's thank you. That's very sweet. But yeah, but I mean, it's sort of like, okay, so this is how this looks on somebody who's like muscular and fit. What I want to know is, does
Hmm.
it hide my belly?
Hmm.
And I no one's ever really capitalized on that I've seen. Now I don't shop like big and tall sites. Maybe I should, but
Hmm.
like the vertical stripes have a slimming effect on larger, on plus size individuals or
Yeah.
something, whatever. Um, yeah, that'd be interesting.
There's a women's clothing store, that online clothing retailer, that most of my clothes come from now because they are shown on and sized for real bodies. So
Mhm.
universal standard needs to come out with a men's line is what I'm hearing,
They
because
need to market like, and hopefully they market like that, like
yeah,
designed for and shown on real bodies.
their sample size is a US women's 18.
It
So
was
it's
so,
like they
yep.
use I mean, like that's my body, right? They use my
Mhm.
body as the starting point for all of their templates.
Huge validation in
Mm-hmm.
marketing and huge talk tribal loyalty. There's all that in there.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, that's, I
Yeah.
was thinking about the Dove Real Beauty campaign too.
Super
Like that
similar.
was
Yeah.
a really, yeah, really big thing when they kind of came out with that. Nobody was doing that. It was all
Mm-hmm.
like, models who were about to fall over unless they had a cheese
Mm-hmm.
cube,
Mm-hmm.
which, being used as jokes in movies too. Like, oh, when I feel hungry, I just have a cheese cube and then I'm okay until my next
Mm-hmm.
cheese cube, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
All right. These
It's
are
from
fun ones.
Devil Wears
Devil
Prada.
Wears Prada, yes.
When I feel like
Which,
I'm gonna pass out, I have a cheese cube.
yep. Stanley Tucci had trouble getting other roles after that, like because
Because
he
they
was
were
so typecast into that sort of fey assistant role, which I mean, he's not. He's just a good actor. Like it was a great role too.
And also, that's how he met his wife. He's
Yes.
married to Emily Blunt's sister. Okay, carry on.
All right. Um, so Biases. So we all have biases. You can't say that you don't. We do. And there are 3 different types that we can talk about. We'll see if we can get through these and then get on to emotion. The first one is a big one right now, political times, confirmation bias. We just look for information that supports our existing beliefs and
It
don't
makes
believe
me comfortable.
or ignores anything that contradicts our beliefs. Yeah.
Yes.
It should be comfortability bias is confirmation
Honestly.
bias. You also hear about, you're just in your echo chamber. That's a confirmation bias. We stick to people and things that look like us, sound like us, believe like us, so that we don't have to go outside of that. This is a hard one for me as a marketer. Persuading people to use like confirmation bias or help leveraging confirmation bias to reinforce loyalty. I mean,
isn't that kind of like you purchased this in the past? We think you might also like this. Like a little bit, like
a
that's
little bit, yeah.
Tangential. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's keeping things that you're likely to react to and believe in your sphere. I think the other thing with this one is understanding your audience and outside of your product, what their beliefs, what their habits are, what media they consume, and those types of things, and showing up in those places.
Yeah.
And confirmation bias isn't always like conspiracies, right? I mean, conspiracies are a form of confirmation bias when you just go look for everything. But there are other ways that you can have confirmation bias in positive ways, in negative ways, etc. I mean, I wonder if part of me wonders, like, I don't know. I'd have to get into the details on this. We don't have the time, but if the example you were giving, where like they're showing you people like you, is that also part of confirmation bias? Because they're confirming to you that no, you have a normal body type. Again, confirmation bias doesn't have to be something untrue, but they are in your mindset versus the mindset of somebody that no, only women who are size 0 are truly beautiful. They're confirming your bias that no, all bodies are beautiful.
You know what is also like what's true for me actually is that it's like rewriting what I find acceptable about bodies, because when I go to their site, I see people who are heavier, curvier, taller. So it's like, it's not confirmation bias for me. I hope that it is for someone else, because I'm still like working through.
So it's actually challenging your confirmation bias, because your psychological thought is more like, oh, like other women's
I have to look
bodies.
I
have to look like a certain way
to be acceptable. Yeah. Yep.
Interesting. So that is a bizarre way of taking what we always think about with conspiracy theories, right? Always like, oh, they're whack jobs, they're crazy. It's confirmation bias. Yeah. And it's twisting it or pulling it for a positive result. I love it.
I really love it. It's really trippy, quite honestly.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, we can move on. So anchoring is the next one that is a cognitive bias. But the idea is the first thing we hear or see is the thing we believe. And all other things after that are measured against it. This one is wild. This is why people want to be the first search result in Google. There is a perception that first is better, first is good, the rest are not as good. It's so bizarre to me, but it makes total sense. It's also why people who learn something one way have a hard time unlearning it and learning it another way.
Yeah. New math. Not looking forward to that.
The way I learned to do it is right. The way you're trying to do it now is wrong. This also creates generational like conflict and friction as things change.
Fools.
This one's
getting into
heavy.
some shit here.
We are. There's our E.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting as humans, we don't take we if we take in 10 pieces of information, they have to come in some order, right? We can't consume all of those at once.
Yeah.
Where a computer or an AI bot could probably actually take them all in at once, and none would have to be first. They just get the information. It's kind of like if we had the brain chip and the information just showed up in our brain and we knew it.
Yeah.
Would that blow this away? But when we hear 10 different things, that one that we heard first is always considered more true or more reliable than the others, regardless of what source it came from. So to miss this, you've got to actively understand it, and we have to consciously think about all of them as equals and push ourselves against human nature, which is why marketers love this, because you won't do that. And you're just going to take the first one that you see and hear about. Reviews.
Me first. Right? Forget everything else.
It's also why people hate seeing, if the first review on a restaurant is a 1-star review, even if they have 4.5 stars, are you going to that restaurant? Probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, you might scroll and think, oh, maybe this is just a whack job 1-star.
Yeah.
But we're fickle. I might just move on to the next restaurant and take a look. And that's why people get so upset with Yelp and want to remove that 1 star from being at the top and have their 5-star reviews at the top. Oof. Anchoring is like rough.
That's tough.
Yeah.
It feels yucky to me. Mm-hmm. I don't want to know that about my brain. It
let's
also
jump
makes
down.
me wonder. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
It just makes me wonder, like, evolutionarily, how, like, what was it, like, we met a mastodon that was going to eat us, and so all mastodons are bad and we can't overcome that. Mm-hmm. You know, like, what
Yes. Yeah, I think so.
like, what
I
happened?
think it probably is a survival gene
of some
or something.
kind, right?
Like, Thor ate those berries and died, so everybody who eats those berries and will die. And maybe Thor was just allergic to them or something, or maybe Thor actually ate something earlier in the day. We don't know. But yeah, things get painted as good or bad for survival. Mm-hmm. And we apply those things. We've talked about this before too, I think, but or maybe it was me talking with my therapist, but we apply those things to other situations, like fight or flight, right? Like the odds of us in an everyday situation at work being in a true fight or flight situation are rare. But if somebody challenges you, or you do something wrong and it's pointed out, you have that same reaction. Like, I either need to punch him or I need to run. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to do either. Like, it's not that situation.
Oh, which is good, because I freeze or fawn. There's 4 actually.
Oh,
Fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. And women are more likely to fawn, because it's like, oh, if I'm small and cute, then you won't harm me.
Gays fawn too. Let's just throw that out there. There's a video or a meme or whatever with, gays with, if they were in a Halloween movie, and it's like the characters like coming to attack them and they're like, hey, started flirting. I think, and like, right, the flight people rely on the freeze people, because they'll be the ones who get eaten while I run away.
Well, no, I'm playing dead, so you can't see me.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't always work. Real quick, let's just jump to the last 2, because they're a little bit easier. Emotional marketing stuff. So we don't have to go so deep in anymore. Cognitive dissonance. Nostalgia. Coke is the key with nostalgia. I had a Coke growing up. Every Sunday we'd watch the Disney Family movie, have popcorn, Coke, and everybody got 1 candy bar. And that was our Sunday night ritual growing up. I know, it's so sweet, isn't it? You just want to throw up. So fucking awesome. Iowa in the 70s. And so I'm loyal to Coke. Like, I don't like Pepsi. I've never liked Pepsi. I don't drink soda anymore anyway. I call it soda because I lived in California and where it's pop here, but whatever.
I don't know. I call it soda because I like to be different and challenging.
But I mean, those emotions, like, I still think about that. And there's every once in a while I'll have like a fountain Coke from McDonald's, because whatever crack they put in that is just a little bit better. Mm-hmm. Or the Mexican Coke from Costco, because it uses cane sugar, which is what, in a glass bottle, which is what we always had growing up. Mm-hmm. I think back. So those are big ones. Cars, like, Oldsmobile pushed this because old people drove Oldsmobiles, and they ran "This is not your father's Oldsmobile" campaign.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and it didn't. I mean, Oldsmobile's dead, so it didn't work. Um, and the last one's funny things. We all like funny things, and I think we know about that
Yeah.
one. So we can getting our warning that we're like running a little bit over. So yeah, all good. So I will tell you, join us next time. Oh God, this sounds dangerous. We are doing breakfast martini, social media fails and lessons learned. I hope Megan is joining us for this one. If she's not, maybe we can make that happen because I want to talk breakfast martinis and social media fails with Megan. I think that would be great.
Yeah.
All right, you want to sing us out?
I do. Sing us out? You
I was
can
kidding.
Find our agency at Antidote _71. And if you have a question you'd like to send our way, you can head to ctapodcast.live to shoot us an email, or even better, you can leave us a voice message on our hotline. Should I sing this too?
No.
402-718-9971. Your question will absolutely make it into a future episode. And from now on, you know I'm going to sing the ending.
Maybe we need like a legit sing on that number so people remember it. Like 580-2300 Empire. Okay,
I would like to know how my impromptu jingle is not legitimate.
It is legitimate. But we have to do it consistently. So we'd have to record it and do it consistently. So if you could remember what notes you sang while doing that.
Sure didn't. I don't think I can read sheet music anymore either.
All right. And now we're going way, way over. So join us next time. And if you leave us a message or shoot us a note, you will get a free cocktail book. And I'm just going to keep pushing that until somebody gets a free cocktail book.
Can I just tell you something really funny? I just got a text message from something that I hadn't opted out of yet. And it was a coupon.
Nice.
Brilliant. See you next time.